6 syllables, 4 common professions. Let's start with a hard one. 学生，学生，学 means study, 生 means young man. So 学生 is a student. But the tricky part is the sound. 学 it has both the 西 and also the yu, although it has no dot, but that was omitted. But it actually is the yu sound. So 学 is kind of aspirated. 学 You can do it a little bit exaggerated, but when you get used to it, you will be comfortably speaking the 学 without that much of dramatic feeling. So 学 again, tongue tip touching the lower teeth. 学生. And the other one is another 生, 医生. Yi is pretty simple, and 生 is just make sure you have the nasal sound. 生, 学生 is vibrating here. Same 生. So 生 yi is like a medical or doctor. So 医生, a medical person, is a doctor. So 学生 student. 医生 doctor. 学生医生. Then let's start with the right column. 老, pretty simple. Just don't make it too round. Okay, it's now 老. It's just 老. 师 flat. 老师 old 老师 master. Who is the old master? 我 a teacher. 老师. And again, we have the yu sound, the tricky yu sound. It's 律师, 律, touching your lower teeth, and the mouth is kind of like the kissing. 律师. So, a master, 师, of what? Of 律, regulation and law. So, 老师, 律师. Let's start it over. 学生医生老师律师. So learn them and you will know how to call me in Chinese. 老师. Well, subscribe and learn some 牛逼 Chinese. 再见. 2 syllable, 1 tongue twister. Remember the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna practice one pair of the most tricky sounds in Chinese, which is 4 and 10. So 4 is like the snake, but with a real voice. So 4. Going down, 4. And 10 is like the sheep, but the beginning sound of sheep, but goes a little bit backward. Your tongue is like 10. And then another thing we know the sound is 是. 是 means to be. 我是 I am to be. So 4, 是, and 10. The 3 syllables together we form the tongue twister is 4, 是, 4. So 4 is 4. 10, 是, 10. 10 is 10. 14, 是, 14. 14 is 14. 4, 10, 是, 4, 10. So 40 is 40. So basically 4, 是, 4, 10, 是, 10, 10, 4, 是, 10, 4, 4, 10, 是, 4, 10. You got it? The key is not how fast you can say it, but how accurate and how well you control the beats. So you don't have to say like 44, 10, 14, 14, 40, but I want you to say it clear with the tones and the tongue position. So 4, 是, 4, 10, 是, 10, 14是14 40 After practice that, you will know the exact difference between the s sound and the sh sound. That will help you speak Chinese more accurately in the future. Let's do it again. 4 是4 10是10 14是14 4 10是40 Follow me on YouTube and see all the videos. Same ID everywhere. 再见. No teaching without quiz is complete. So we're going to learn two very simple short phrases. Then let's have our first oral quiz to help you practice. Okay, so the two phrases we're going to learn are basically something that we already know. First one is 你呢. Ne is a question particle, so 你呢 just simply means how about you. So you can say that to any question you want to ask. How about you, 你呢? And the other one is 好, but you need a 很好. 很 means very. But 很好 in Chinese usually just means good. It's not very good or pretty good. Especially when people ask, you answer I'm good. You never say 我是好 or something. You just simply say 很好 or 我很好. I very good. Okay? So you don't need the 是, you don't need anything. You just say 我很好. But remember, say 很好 instead of just say 好. Because we like that disyllabic answers. 好 is a little bit too short. Okay, so the quiz gonna be common greeting practice. The first round, I will just be both A and B and say some greetings. And when the quiz starts, I will just be A and you will be B. I will give you every answer for 4 or 5 seconds. So after my A, you will say your B part. Okay, so let's demo first. 你好，你好。你好吗？很好。身体好吗？身体很好。我是中国人。你呢？我是美国人。再见。再见。Okay, now we're going to do the quiz. So I will just be A and you will be B. You speak to me, although I cannot hear you, but I can feel your spirit. Okay. 3、2、1。你好。你好吗？身体好吗？我是中国人，你呢？再见。Okay, how do you feel? Did you get all the answers? You can keep practice and you will start to form longer conversations as the videos and teachings goes on. Follow for more. 再见。3 syllables, a very useful universal conversation starter, and make you sound really caring. 怎么样? So, 怎么样 is a very common conversation starter. Other than 你好, 你好, it's very dry, right? If you say 你好 and people reply 你好, what's next? So 怎么样 is different. 怎么样 you can combine with other things like family members or some person's name, so you can start a conversation going on and on and on. Basically, 怎么样 the m is neutralized the tone. So now 怎么样 is 怎么样 怎么样 You got the rhyme? 怎么样 So 怎么样 means how is things going? So you can just simply see someone say 你好, 你好, 怎么样? What's up? 怎么样? Then people can start talking about what's happening around her or him. But also you can combine 怎么样 with other things. For example, we learn family members. So you can say, 你爸爸怎么样? How is your father? So then people can, 你妈妈怎么样? 你儿子怎么样? 你女儿怎么样？你哥哥弟弟姐姐妹妹怎么样？ So 怎么样 is a very general question for others to see how things are going. But if you want to be more specific, for example, you want to ask how is your overall wellness, so you would use this 身体怎么样？身体 first tone 身 and 体 third tone. So 身体 literally just means body, but in Chinese, 身体 can be commonly accepted as asking about one's overall health. So you're not asking 身体怎么样, like you're asking how is your body. So you're more likely asking how is your overall health? How are you well? So 身体怎么样? Then people can keep going, blah blah blah. Or you can ask three things all together. 你妈妈身体怎么样? How is your mother's wellness? Something like that. That's very common in Chinese greetings, so it's okay. It's not like too personal. So 怎么样？身体怎么样？你妈妈身体怎么样？ For example, 你好，你好，怎么样？好。你妈妈怎么样？我妈妈很好。你爸爸身体怎么样？我爸爸身体很好。So you can keep going on and combine all the things we learned in the past 5 lessons. Then you can form longer sentence step by step. So follow me on YouTube and watch all the videos. Same ID, Xu's Fun Chinese. 再见. Flu season, so let's learn some symptoms about flu or getting cold. So the key word we want to learn is 疼. 疼 just means ache, pain, or sore. It's everything is 疼, discomfort, all the feelings, we call them 疼. Sometimes you will hear people say 痛. 痛 is a different way of describe 疼, but they are basically the same meaning. Okay, so when you had a cold or flu, you will say this too. First is 头疼, 头. This is your 头, the head. So 头疼, headache, 头疼. And how to say the sore throat? It's a 嗓子. This is our 嗓子. So 嗓子is upper respiratory, it's all 嗓子. So 嗓子疼, if you swallow water, you feel there's a blaze in between. That's 嗓子疼. 嗓子疼. Make sure this is a neutral tone. 子 is usually a neutral tone. One is followed by anything. For example, 桌子, desk, 椅子, chair, and 嗓子, throat, and 鼻子, nose. So 嗓子疼, 嗓子疼. You can say, oh, 我嗓子疼. I have a sore throat. And also you will learn this, 发烧. Pretty simple, having a fever. So you just say 我发烧, not 我有发烧. Just 我发烧. So just make sure you don't say 我发烧了, because 烧 is burning, 发 is to send out the heat, you're burning. But 烧 is totally different. Okay, so definitely 烧, not 烧. 发烧, 发烧. And also, let's say another symptom, 咳嗽. Still neutral tone for the so. 咳嗽. So 咳嗽 means cough. It's clearly from the phonetic, the sound of 咳嗽, 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 咳嗽. And the last one is the running nose. 鼻塞, we said 鼻子 is nose. 鼻塞,塞 is congestion. So 鼻塞, the nose congestion. 鼻塞. So now you have 头疼, 嗓子疼, 发烧, 咳嗽, 鼻塞. I hope you don't use them this winter, but just in case. Okay, follow me on YouTube and learn more Chinese and history. 再见. 4 syllables, extremely important negators. So let's start with this two. First one is 不. 不 just simply means no. 不. And the other one is 没. Didn't. So from the English, you can tell the sort of the difference, but let's break it down because people got confused all the time. So for 不 is talking about something you generally don't want it, or something you don't do. For example, 我不吃榴莲 I don't eat durian. So it's something that I will not do or I don't do it. Or 我不喜欢你 I don't like you. So it's more about your attitude. And another thing "不" refer to is when you are talking about your identity, your profession, or you are not something or someone. For example, this is 是. 是 is to be. I am, you are, he is, to be. So you always say 我不是someone. 我不是学生 I'm not a student. 我是老师 I am a student. So for 不 it's either you don't want to do something or you don't do something or you are not someone or something. So that's 不 and 不是. And the other one is 没 didn't. So 没 just refer to something did not happen at all or has not happened yet. So 我没去 I did not go. 我没有 Now we refer to another very important verb is 有 有 is to have. So 没有 you did not have, you do not have. So 没 kind of refer to the reality that you do not have something. So this is more likely 不 is attitude, 没 and the 没 is a reality. So 我没有钱 I do not have money. That's the reality. So now you have learned the 不 and the 没. 不 for something you don't want to do or something you just don't do. And the 没 refers to something did not happen or not happen yet. Another trick is 不 can be connected with 是. So 不是 not. But 没 usually connected with 有 do not have. You may have noticed that I always say 不是 the second tone instead of the mark of the pinyin here 不. Why? Let's talk about that next class. That's a tone change of the 不 and the 一. Well, subscribe for more. 再见. 你好. Let's talk about two troublemakers. You know, most characters in Chinese, they only have one tone for each character, but there are two troublemakers. One is the 不, we just learned it last lesson. 不 has two tones, which is 不 and 不. And the other one is even more troublesome, is 一 has three tones, which is 一, and 一. So let's look at the 不. So there's the pattern for the 不 is one 不 is followed by the first tone, second tone, or third tone. It keeps 不. For example, 不吃 not eating, 不学 not learning, 不好 not good. However, when it's followed by the fourth tone, it will change to 不去 not going, 不去. So good news is that when you look at 一 make exactly the same kind of trouble, because when 一 is followed by first, second, and third tone, it will become fourth tone. So 一天 one day, 一年 one year, 一晚 one night. And when it's followed by the fourth tone, it will become 一 the rising tone. So 一个 one of something. So same thing, right? One is the first, second, and third tone followed. It will be the fourth tone for both 不 and 一. One is fourth tone. It will become second tone 不 and 一. So why 一 has three tones? Because 一 has its own tone. One is counting. We always say 一 2 3 4. So why we have that? Probably for the convenience of pronunciation, because if you have two fourth tones back to back, it will be kind of too harsh and it sounds not very polite, like 不去. But when it goes up and down, it sounds like elegant, like the melody 不去. So everything is for the convenience of the pronunciation and the communication. So 不吃不学 不好，不去，一天，一年，一晚，一个 plus 一。Follow me for more. 再见。5 syllables. Let's learn all the future and the past. First, let's talk about the future 3 syllables. 今, 明, 后. 今, remember the sound of jeep touching your lower teeth? 今 flat. 明 easy sound. 明 going up. 后 going down. Going down, so 后. So we learned 天 is the day, right? So 今天 today. 明天 tomorrow. 后天 the day after tomorrow. Good news is that both the 天 and the year 年 share the same system. So 今年 this year. 明年 next year. 后年 the year after next year. But there is an extra one. We learned 大 big, right? How about 大后天? 大后天 means in 3 days. And 大后年 means in 3 years. So 今明后 that's the future. Let's talk about the past. So 2 more syllables. 左 is the Z sound. 左 like zip. 昨天 and 前天. So 昨 and 前. So 昨天 means yesterday. 昨天. 前天 the day before yesterday. And same thing, we have extra 大前天 2 days ago. So 昨天前天大前天. But the point is that they still share sort of the 年. So you can say 前年 the year before last year. You can say 大前年 2 years ago. But you cannot say 昨年 because 昨 has a 日 radical. 昨 actually means the day before already. So 昨天 is bounded together. For 年 you have to say 去年. So last year, the year that passed. 去 the tricky sound. 去年. So I talk about the 天, the day, and the year, but we skipped the months and the week. That's for next lesson, and they share another system. Follow for more. 再见. 3 syllables talk about the month and the week. So very simple, but they are different than the year and the day. Remember, year and day is always 今天, 昨天, 前天. For the future is 明天, 后天, 大后天. But the week and the months shared a different system called 这个. 这个 is very useful because 这个 literally just means this. So 这个 and next 下个 means next. So 这个下个 and 上个 last. So but this is also direction. So 这 is this. But 下 is down, the months that down below this. And 上 means up, the months before is up. So you learn the time, but you also learn the direction of 上 and 下. So 这个月 this month. 下个月 next month. And 上个月 last month. And the 月 share the same system with 星期. 星期 is week. I know we learn 星期 like 周, but 周 is more formal. 星期 is more casual, but you can say either one. So 这个星期 this week. 下个星期 next week. 上个星期 last week. But 星期 literally just means the cycle of the stars. So you may have the question, why is so troublesome? Why not the day, the month, the week, the year all share the same system, either this one or that one? There's a reason behind it. Because in the Chinese concept, especially in the earlier years, the ancient time, the year and the day, they share a same concept as they are not recurring. They are very unique entities. Because remember the zodiac animals, every year was assigned with a different code name almost. So it's not a recurring concept. So this means it's not coming back again. It will be gone. But for 星期 and 月, they are more likely a recurring concept. Every month they change, because in Chinese there is not a different name. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all the similar months. And 星期 is for the same reason. That's why we have 2 systems. You got it? So 上个, 下个, 这个. Follow for more. Special lesson for Thanksgiving. So no grammar, just learn 10 vocab about Thanksgiving. The first one is definitely the Thanksgiving itself is 感恩节. 感 is to feel. 恩 is grace. 节 is any public celebration. It could be any kind of holiday, national holiday, bubble tea holiday. It's always 节. So 感恩节, word by word, it would be Feel Grace Festival. 感恩节. Then let's talk about the food. So the first one, of course, is a kind of chicken. It's actually turkey. 火鸡. Although 火 means fire and 鸡 means chicken. Together, fire, chicken is not a chicken on fire. It's turkey. We like to form the vocab, the new vocab, with some center word and add different adjective to form new species. You will learn that more in the future. And if you say 火鸡, you have to mention 肉汁. 肉汁, 肉 is meat, 汁 is juice. So meat juice, that's a gravy. I know it's kind of weird, but that's how we translated it. Okay, and next is still related to 火鸡 is 馅儿. 馅儿. 馅儿 is the stuffing of 火鸡. So there are 2 syllables, it's 馅儿, but you combine them together in the parentheses. That's the actual pronunciation. You cross nasal sound and cross sound. It's basically just 馅儿, 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 火鸡馅儿, turkey stuffing, 火鸡馅儿. Okay? And then we come to the sweet teas, the 南瓜派. 南瓜 is a south melon, is pumpkin. 瓜 is melon. 南 is south. Okay, so 南瓜 and pie is just phonetic, so it's a pumpkin pie. And in addition, we have 苹果派. 苹果派. Another pie. What pie? Apple pie. 苹果, apple. Also, this I really hate writing this, but this is so important, we cannot skip it. It's a 蔓越莓酱. So 蔓越莓 is cranberry. 酱 is any kind of sauce. So 蔓越莓酱. It's like the curving tones. That's a cranberry sauce. And also 土豆泥. 土豆, potato. Dirt bin, word by word. 泥, mud. So 土豆泥, potato mud. That's mashed potato. And 红薯泥, sweet potato. 红薯泥, sweet potato mud. So sweet mashed potato. And we have last one. 团圆. 团 is all together. 圆 is round and circle. So reunion. So have a 团圆的感恩节. Follow for more. See you after that. 再见. 3 minutes, 5 syllables, 3 most important question pronouns. Okay, so let's learn what, why, and when. They sound different, but they share the same 什么 from what. So what is 什么? 什么? Check out the tones for mo. Mo has neutral tone, which means no tone. Just very gentle. 什么? 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 And why, you just simply add a 为 to 什么. So 为 plus 什么 will be why. So for what is why. 为什么? 为什么? And remember, when you pronounce Chinese, do not try to add too much round sound. So you're not wait, just wait. It's on the front part of your mouth, not the back part. Okay. And the last one for today is when. When also has 什么 what. So 什么时候 means moment. A period of time. So 什么时候 basically just what time is when. So 时候. So 么 is neutral tone. 时候 the 后 is also neutral tone. When you ask questions, you tend to be gentle. So 什么时候为什么 Of course, you can be stronger like when you show your surprise. 什么 Then the 么 kind of has the tone of the flat, but that's only when you exaggerated the situation. Okay, so how to use them in real life sentences? You need to remember a golden rule. This is the real golden rule. It's called SVO. What's SVO? Subject, verb, object. This is the universal sentence order for Chinese in 80% of the time, including statement and question. So it's not like English. When you have a question, you change the sentence order. No, in Chinese, it's always the same. 我是徐老师. I am Mr. Xu. This is a perfect statement, subject, verb, object. But if you want to, what is this? It's still 这是什么? This is what. So they they share the same sentence order. There are exceptions, but it's way beyond our level now. So for now, just remember it's a SVO. We will expand this formula longer, becomes typical later. But for now, just SVO. So also like 什么时候吃饭 when eat, still subject, verb, object. So next lesson, we're going to learn another 3 most useful pronouns is who, how, and where. Follow for more. 再见. 5 syllables, how to ask for time and age. So let's start with time. It's very simple, just 4 syllable question. 现在几点? Let's focus on 现在. 现在 means now, this moment, at present. So 现在. 现 lower teeth, tongue touching the lower teeth. 现 and 在 just zip, 在. Both of them are down tone, the 4th tone. So 现在. 几 is how many or how much. So 几点. 点 is a point. In this context, it means o'clock, the dot on the clock, maybe. So 现在几点? And when you answer, it's also very simple. You always use a 点 to answer the time because 点 means o'clock in this context. Literally, it means a dot. So if, for example, it's I don't know if you can see it, but we use military time in China for the formal time reporting. But when you talk in daily conversation, we never say, oh, now it's 16. So 4点27, 4:27. So 现在几点? 4点27. I put a 分 here because 分 means minute, but usually people don't say 分 because after the o'clock, by default, you know this following number refer to the minute. So you don't have to say it. You can say it. You can say 现在4点27分. Both works. Okay? And how about age? Luckily, we share the same question pronoun 几, how many, and 岁 means the year of age. It's not a year. It's just the year of age. Only for age. 岁 year is 年. We will learn that later. Okay. So 几岁. But of course, you don't say 现在你几岁. At this moment, how old? Instead you ask 你几岁? Just how old are you? How many years of age? How many years of age? So 几岁? You can say 30, 40, 50, or 20. But pay extra attention. This is only for people that have a similar age or younger than you. If someone are like 50 years older than you, you usually don't say 几岁. Instead, you say 高寿. What's your tall longevity, high longevity? So 你高寿. Actually, you say 您高寿 with more respect. So 现在几点? 4点27. 你几岁? Let me ask the same question for you. 现在几点？你几岁？ Follow for more. 再见。Question pronouns number 2. Let's review first. Yesterday we learned what, why, and when. So what 什么？你又说痛风吗？什么 ？And why 为什么 ？And when 什么时候 ？So now we're gonna learn another 3 is how, who, where. Let's start with how. How still share something with what? 什么 It's not 什么 it's 怎么怎么 Z sound is like you are spraining 怎么怎么怎么 And who 谁谁谁 But you may notice I have 2 pinyin for 谁 Which one is 谁 Which one is 谁 So if you're in the northern part of China, you will hear 谁 much more often. But if you're in the southern part of China, like in Shanghai, you probably will hear 谁 So sometimes it's knock knock in the Beijing, 谁呀 In Shanghai, knock knock, 谁呀 If you look up in the dictionary, probably you will see 谁. Maybe the editor of the dictionary is from Shanghai, but it's commonly used both of them. So don't worry, either one. You can memorize both, but if you can only memorize one, just memorize the one you prefer. That's totally fine. And the last one is where. Where is 哪里哪里 Nali is a more universal way, but if you're in Beijing or some northern area, you have the famous ER ending of a lot of nouns. You will hear someone say 哪儿哪儿哪儿你在哪里 You're at where or 你在哪儿 in Beijing. Either way works. You can memorize both, but one is good enough. So let's go over again. How 怎么怎么 Who 谁 and where 哪里哪儿 Remember the famous VO, subject, verb, object, same for questions. So for who are you, we don't say 谁是你, we say 你是谁, you are who. So always keep the subject, verb, object order for everything. That's a golden rule for 80% of them. But you don't need to worry until lesson 200 for the exceptions of the rule. Okay, so you may see that I put the character very small because this is focused on speaking. If you need to know more about the character, you can watch the video of the character series. So follow for more. 再见. 4 syllables. We're going to learn the 2 most important verbs of all languages. Love and eat. Okay, so first let's start with softened version of the love, which is 喜欢喜欢 is to like 喜 third tone. Make sure when you say the 喜 your tongue is touching the lower teeth and open your mouth halfway 喜欢喜欢 You notice there's no tone on the 欢 when you by itself, if you look up in the dictionary, they would put a line here which means the first tone 喜欢 But when you talk in the flow of the sentences, you usually just neutralize this. You can say 喜欢 That sounds very formal, but you can just simply casually say 喜欢喜欢 So 喜欢 is to like. And the other one is easier. It's I is to love. So 喜欢 and I would say I is a deeper 喜欢 and 喜欢 is a lighter I. You can use them both on person, on things, or 喜欢 do something. For example, 喜欢吃 is to eat 吃 Make sure when you say the 吃 you have the friction between your upper oral cavity and your tongue 吃 your tongue glide up a little bit 吃 You may hear a lot of people say this word like ch. There is no R here. The R from the native Chinese speakers is because they are from the northern part of China, so that we have a lot of the so ch, but it's actually ch. So now you can form a question like or a sentence. 我喜欢吃. I like to eat. 我爱吃. I'm a foodie. Or you can add something even more. For example, the videos we posted yesterday. 我喜欢吃火鸡. I enjoy eating turkey. Or 我爱感恩节. I love Thanksgiving. So this is a basic formula for all the sentence. And remember, even the question follows the same order, subject, verb, object. So you can also ask, 你喜欢我吗? Do you like me? 你喜欢吃火鸡吗? Do you like eating turkey? So practice this, and you can say something with a lot of options and a lot of combos. Of course, we'll learn more. So follow for more. 再见. Let's talk about our sweet home and where is your home. Okay, so very simple because we already learned some of them. First one is 家, flat tone, wide open. 家, the 家 is your home, but the home only to the place that you live with your family members. If you saw a single home on sale, that's absolutely not 家. 家 is only the place you stay with your family. That's your sweet home. So other than that, it's if it's a random building or it's not a place that someone's family and their whole relatives are together, it's not your 家. It's just a 楼 or 屋子. So people always make that mistake. They say, I saw a single 家. That's not your 家. That's a 房子. Okay, so 家, home. Then 在, to be at. We learn 现在. So it's the same 在, to be at. Like I mentioned, the 在 could be 在 somewhere or 在 some time. So 家在. And 哪儿, we learn 哪儿, where from last lesson. So 家在哪儿, home at where, literally. So remember, no change of the word order in questions. It's still subject, verb, object. And in this case, the verb was replaced with a predicate, which is 家. You don't have to know what is predicate. You just remember it's 家 at where. Okay, of course you need someone's 家. So you could ask, 你家在哪儿? Where is your home? 你家在哪儿? Or you can answer 我家在华盛顿 DC. Okay? And when you say I'm going home, you always say 回家, 回家, 回家. Because 回 is just two blocks together. It means to return. You always return to your sweet home, regardless it's in Beijing or DC. So always 回家. You never say anything other than 回, okay? Unless you're going to someone else's 家, you can say 我去 somewhere. Your own home, always 回. So 你家在哪儿? 回家. So 你家在哪儿? Let me know in the comments. 再见. Tonight, we're gonna learn how to write those characters. How to say happy birthday and happy other things. Let's take 3 minutes and learn most of them. Okay, first one is, of course, the most common one, happy birthday. So how to say that? In Chinese, the order is different. It's reversed. It's not happy birthday. It's birthday happy. So it's 生日快乐. So 生 is a nasal sound, 生 flat, and 日 going down. And 快 wide open, 快 going down, 快. And 乐. So this is four syllables, only one flat tone, 生. The other three are all down tone. So make sure you say it strong enough so people can understand. So don't feel like you're arguing with someone when you say down tones. That's the nature of the language. So 生 日快乐. Do it a little bit exaggerated so people can understand you better at the beginning. When you are more fluent, of course, you can adjust it a little bit. So 生日快乐. And the other one is that if you want to say I wish you happy birthday, so you can say 祝你 another down tone 祝 not zoo. Okay, it's going the tongue is actually at the lower and the backward position. 祝 friction with the upper oral cavity. 祝你生日快乐. So 祝你生日快乐. 4 down tones, make sure you said all of them clearly so you sound so authentic and so perfectly, okay? But if you're saying that to a more or higher social ranking or older, just your grandma, your dad, your mom, you would want to be more polite. So let's add a 你 with a little heart in the bottom, which changed the pronunciation to 您. So 你 with a little bit nasal sound. 您 is like when you talk to the older people or the higher seniority or the higher social ranking, you will say 祝您生日快乐. So 祝您生日快乐. Say all the down tones, make them clear. And also, you may want to learn something are equally common, almost. So first one is 节日快乐. Same 日 from 生日 is 节 like the Jeep. 节日 holiday, happy holiday. And 新婚 新 lower teeth in the tongue. Okay, 新婚 happy wedding or happy new marriage. Want to learn more? Leave in the comment. Follow for more. 再见. Did you shop on Black Friday? Let's learn about Black Friday and how to say colors in Chinese. So first, let's learn how to say Black Friday. We have learned Friday, right? 星期五. We also mentioned you can say 周五, but traditionally Black Friday is translated as 星期五. So what's black? 黑色. 黑 is simply just a color black. And 色 is the Chinese for color. So 黑色星期五. Word by word, black colored Friday. 黑色星期五. That's 5 syllables, kind of long, right? So Chinese also feel it's a little bit too long. Basically, anything more than 4 syllables, we will have abbreviated version or shortened version for that. So no exception for 黑色星期五. We just shrink them into 2 syllables. Simply 黑五. So did you buy anything on 黑五? Leave on the comment better in Pinyin or Chinese. So let's talk about the colors. So we already learned 黑 is black. And then 白 is white. A lot of people last name the white have their Chinese name as 白 because 白 is also white. Okay, and 红 nasal sound, a strong nasal sound, 红 red. And also 黄 yellow. And 蓝 blue. 粉 third tone, 粉 pink. I know many of you learned them in textbooks that 粉红色 is pink. Yes, if you really want to say that, you can say, okay, it's a pink red color. But I have never said 粉红色 in many years. I will just simply call it 粉. After all, the communication focus on the efficiency first. You don't have to say extra syllables. And the last one, a little bit tricky because they have the 鱼, the 2 dot sound. So it's 绿. This is tricky. A lot of my students couldn't pronounce the 绿. Always 绿 and 路 confused. So 绿, your tongue are touching your lower teeth. 路, your tongue are not touching. So 绿色. Okay, so now you know 7 colors. So if you want to know more colors, leave in the comment. So 黑色星期五, 黑五. Then Follow for more. 再见. 3 syllables describe all colors. So not like English, there are so many different names for a slightly different color. For example, for red, 红色, there are burgundy, there are ruby red, there are crimson, so maroon. But in Chinese, there are only 3 adjectives to describe the colors of different shades. For example, the first one is 深, 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 深 flat tone. 深 is deep. And the second one is 浅. 浅 is the opposite of 深. 浅, 浅, it's a qi sound, qi sound. So not aspirated. So 浅, third tone 浅. 浅 is shallow. So 深, deep, 浅, shallow. And another one is 淡, 淡, 淡. 淡 means light. Not this light, but this adjective light, like light blue, light red. So you can add any color after 深 or 浅 or 淡. So for crimson, we would say 深红, it's a deep red. 浅红 would be light red. And 淡粉 would be light pink. So 浅 and 淡 are kind of interchangeable. It really hard to tell like what's the difference between a light pink 浅粉 and a light pink 淡粉. So 深, 浅, 淡. Of course, for specific colors, we also have something. For example, for burgundy, we would say 酒红. 酒 is wine, so it's a wine red. But given the truth that Chinese is based on characters, we try the best. My ancestors tried the best to not create a new color for a new character for every different color to reduce the burden of writing extra characters. So that's why. And also, there is some tricky thing. A lot of textbooks for Chinese learners said the brown is 咖啡色. They want you to learn 咖啡 and they want you to use 咖啡 in the color to make this 2 syllables more useful than just a name of a drink. But in real life, people don't really say 咖啡色 because there are so many different 咖啡. The latte definitely have a very different color of the black coffee. So instead of 咖啡, we would say 棕色, 棕紫, 棕 nasal sound, 棕色. That's brown color. Okay, and also I would like to mention the 金 because we learned 金 in the element 金, gold color. Which iPhone's color is most popular? Always 金色, 金的 iPhone. Okay, let me know if you want to learn more colors in the comment. Follow for more. 再见. Oral quiz number 2. Same rule. I will demo A and B, then you will be B, I will be A. 3、2、1，开始。你好，你好，请问你是谁？我是 Lion。请问你是哪国人？我是中国人。请问你几岁？我3岁。请问现在几点？现在8点24。哦，谢谢。请问你家在哪儿？我家在北京。请问你喜欢吃什么？我喜欢吃小牛肉。请问你喜欢什么颜色？我喜欢黄色。哦，谢谢，再见，再见。Okay, quiz time. 3、2、1，开始。你好，请问你是谁？请问 你是哪国人？请问你几岁？请问现在几点？哦，谢谢。请问你家在哪儿？你喜欢吃什么？你喜欢什么颜色？哦，谢谢，再见。So let me know how many you got. If you like this, follow for more. 再见. 7 syllables. You can tell directions after 3 minutes. Okay, let's start to learn some directions and verbs so you can give any directions to anywhere. Okay, first let's start with the 4 important things. 上, nasal sound. 上, up, 下, down. 左, left. Yo, right. So 上 is easy to pronounce, just a nasal sound. But 下 you kind of need to pay attention because it's a xi sound. So wide open 下, tongue touching the lower teeth. And 左 is z, 左, also open mouth. And yo is easy. Yo, what's up? Yo. So 上下左右. We have a 中 place here because it's so simple. So why not learn that together? So 中 nasal sound means middle. China is 中国 middle kingdom. Okay, then we need to learn 2 directions, which is 前 and 后. 前 is forward, 后 is backward. So 前 start with the Q. 前 and ho is also lower sound. Ho. So just pay attention to the 前 and the 下. That's the 2 sounds are a little bit tricky to pronounce. So again, 上下左右前后. But you need another verb to describe them, right? When you give directions. So this is 往, same as the last name but different tone. 往, third tone, 往. So 往 is toward, go toward. So you can say 往前 go forward, 往后 go backward, 往上 go up, 往下 go down, 往左 go left, 往右 go right. Well, people don't say 往中 because there's no sense to say go middle. But now you can tell the directions. Follow for more. 再见. 3 question particles covers most of the question, if not 100%. Okay, so for Chinese sentences, when you ask a question, you always keep the same sentence order. It's always subject, verb, object. Instead of changing the sentence order, they just simply add a question particle. It works like a question mark, but there are different kind of question marks in Chinese. You can think that way. That's the question particles. The most common one is actually the middle one, is ma. There's no tone mark because there's no tone. It's neutral tone. So it's very gentle, very elegant. Ma. For example, if you want to ask any yes or no question, you use the 吗. 你是老师吗? Are you a teacher? 你是老师吗? When you have the 吗, people know you're asking a yes or no. Are you a teacher or not? And the second common is the 呢, still no tones. 呢. So 呢 is just a common question. The most common combo using 呢 is 你呢? How about you? 我是老师。你呢? How about you? But also you can use it on other common question like 徐老师在哪儿呢？ Where is 徐老师? Of course, you can omit the 呢 just say 徐老师在哪儿 because 哪儿 is a question pronoun, so you don't have to have 呢 but you can add the 呢 So 呢 how about you, 你呢 And 吗 yes or no. And the other one, sort of like a question, but is more likely a suggestion. For example, I can say 我们去中国吧 Let's go to China. So the ba more likely is a suggestion that suggests you to do something. You can add the ba at the end. 你是老师吧? So I assume you are a teacher or you must be a teacher. So that's something you already have a confirmed answer in your mind, but you want to confirm it again, you would use that. So it's a question and seeking for confirmation, not just asking. So that's the three question particles. Follow for more, and for next lesson we can form some serious conversations with this and the previous videos. 再见。